Welcome to Clash Corner, your daily dose of chaos.
I just realized my entire life was a hallucination. I've been questioning my entire life. As far back as I can remember, I saw shadow figures or dark shapes. It was just a normal thing to me. It didn't matter if I was just sitting in my living room watching TV or if I was out shopping. I'd just see it, usually just one but sometimes more. Well, recently, I had a bit of a mental breakdown and was put on medication for psychosis. The shadows are gone. Not only that, but I guess I was having auditory experiences too, which I didn't even realize. I thought it was just normal to have a ton of thoughts screaming at you at once. Everything is so calm and quiet now. It's nice, but it's hard to come to the realization that none of these things were real. I'm truly having to figure out how to come to terms with the fact that there was just something different about how my brain worked the whole time. Borderline personality disorder sure is something. At least I'm finally diagnosed. Have you ever had a moment where you realized something you thought was normal wasn't?
Ready for more? Here comes Clash number 2.
My sister has been pretending my apartment is hers. I came home after a 12-hour shift to find my sister hosting a party in my apartment. One of her friends asked why I was there. In my own home. I live alone in a decently nice apartment, and I'm proud of it. My sister, who is 20, lives at home. We've always been very close, so I gave her a key for convenience and emergencies. Since I moved in about 10 months ago, she's been coming over a lot. At first it was nice, but now it's almost daily. I work long hours and value my space and privacy, so this has been a little frustrating for a while. But I tried to be understanding because I know she really wants to move out too. Over the past 2 to 3 months, she's been obsessed with my apartment and its aesthetic. She constantly comments on how she would decorate differently or suggests that we should move furniture around. I usually brushed it off as jokes. It didn't really start to get weird until I started coming home to find her in my apartment after letting herself in while I wasn't home. A few times I noticed she rearranged little things. It bugged me, but I didn't outwardly confront her because it wasn't worth an argument. About 2 weeks ago, we were at a mutual friend's party and I overheard her talking to someone about her new apartment. When I walked up, her friend said something like it looks nice from the pictures. Which made me think she was showing people my place and telling them it's hers. A few days later I came home early from work and she was on my couch with a girl I've never met. She looked obviously shocked and left quickly to go shopping. It happened again a few days later with our 2 cousins instead, but she didn't seem to care that I came home this time. I texted her later and asked her to ask me before inviting anyone over to my apartment, and all she said was okay. After that I assumed all was well. She was still over a lot, but she was acting oddly nice. I found this weird and was immediately suspicious, but from what I could tell she wasn't doing anything strange. Boy, was I wrong. Last night I came home after a 12-hour shift and she was there again. But this time, with 5 friends playing a drinking game in my living room. I was exhausted and furious. I told them all to leave. She tried to talk to me in the kitchen but I wasn't having it. I told them again to leave and one of her friends asked why I was there. In my apartment. I lost it. I yelled because I live here. She lives with our parents, now get out. They left quickly, but my family is now saying that I embarrassed her in front of her friends, and she's humiliated. I honestly don't think I did anything wrong, but my family is saying she's devastated. I'm not even sure what to do from here. I tend to overreact sometimes, but this was wild. And very out of character for my sister. Was I wrong for losing it? What would you have done?
The chaos doesn't stop. Clash number 3.
My dad threatened to sue us after he fell outside our house. My dad slipped and fell outside our house during a power outage, and even though he wasn't seriously hurt, he chose to sue us. This involves me, a 30-year-old woman, my husband who's 31, my mom who's 58, and my dad who's 61. I haven't talked to my dad in nearly 1.5 to 2 months. This has never happened before, and I drew a hard line. First part, my husband overdid it a bit on the drinks on Boxing Day. No incidents, just a bit too much. My dad felt the need to lecture him for it, even though he didn't do anything and wasn't acting inappropriately at all. My husband was upset but brushed it off the next day. Jump to December 28th. I had my side of the family over for a Christmas movie and board game night. The night went well. Around 7:30, the power went out, so people started to leave. There was freezing rain, and we couldn't buy salt due to a local shortage that was still ongoing. My cousin went out and slipped. My dad caught him. He came back inside and lectured us about not having salt. We explained we didn't have any and why. My dad then decided to go outside alone in the dark after knowing it was freezing rain, after seeing my cousin fall, to do who knows what. He slipped and fell. He bruised himself but had no major injuries. He drove himself and my mom home after, so he was fine. We offered him ice and pain reliever, and I said now that he's over 60, he can't be doing that kind of thing alone. He sharply said, "Don't question my abilities." Then he lectured us again, this time in front of the family. At this point it got awkward and people wanted to leave. We got kitty litter, flashlights, and helped everyone to their cars slowly, one by one, safely in the dark and freezing rain. No more falls. I gave my dad 24 hours to cool off, and I texted him on the 30th asking how he's feeling and if he's okay. He proceeds to say he blames only my husband, and not me, for not having salt, and that he contacted the municipality in the region, and that he got a lawyer to sue us. He said he has told the whole family he's doing this, like he's proud of it. I immediately block his number, and my husband and I leave all family group chats he's in, as we can't be talking and have him use any of it against us in court. Haven't heard from him since. My mom is beyond angry and is threatening to leave him for treating us like this. He did it while she was at work, so clearly he knew it was a bad or wrong idea. She says he cancelled the lawyer, but who knows for sure. We discussed the behavior is odd, and he maybe has something wrong with him he needs checking out. I truly think he has some early brain disease and it's manifesting with an increased intense need to be right. He has always needed to be right, yelled and screamed over trivial things, had gotten violent towards my mom and my sister and me as kids, but got some help and that stopped when I was around 13 or 14. There were some major anger incidents over the years. I just don't know what to do at this point. Part of me wants to unblock him and send him a message outlining the broken trust and hurt he caused. Explain to him what he needs to do to try to earn it back. Other part of me wants to just leave him blocked and write him off. Would you reach out, or would you walk away?
Another clash is on the way. Here's number 4.
I hit rock bottom on New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve started out fine, but I clearly crossed a line and just kept going until I completely blacked out. New Year's Eve started out fine, but I clearly crossed a line and just kept going until I completely blacked out. I don't remember half the night, but the fragments I do have and the things my friends told me are enough to make me want to disappear. I woke up on New Year's Day in a state I can't even describe. I had an accident. I had spent the night sleeping in my own vomit. But the absolute rock bottom moment was finding out that I was so far gone and unable to function that my friends literally had to help me use the bathroom, just so I wouldn't make an even bigger mess than I already had. The level of burden I put on them is what's eating me alive. These people had to clean up my mess, literally, while I was a dead weight, disgusting version of myself. They were being good friends, but I feel completely humiliated knowing they had to see me like that. I am disappointed to my core. I'm embarrassed, I'm disgusted with my lack of control, and I feel like a total failure of an adult. I think this is the wake-up call I needed because I never, ever want to feel this low again. I don't even know how to begin apologizing or making it up to them. Have you ever had a moment that made you realize you needed to change?
Chaos overload. Let's wrap up this final clash.
I've been secretly switching my coworker's coffee to decaf. I've been secretly switching my coworker's coffee to decaf for 8 months, and I think it actually fixed him. This guy sits 2 desks away from me, and for the first year he was at our company, he was genuinely unbearable in the mornings. Not like, haha, grumpy before coffee unbearable. More like snapping at people, being short with everyone. Once he made a junior coworker cry because she asked him a question before 10 in the morning. HR stuff that never went anywhere because he's good at his job. Anyway, about 8 months ago we had a team offsite, and I ended up talking to his wife at dinner. She mentioned, completely casually, that he'd switched to decaf at home because of his blood pressure, and that he didn't even notice. And something just clicked in my brain. We have one of those pod machines in the office, and people bring their own pods and keep them in this little basket. His were always the same brand, dark roast, red packaging. So I found the exact decaf version of the same brand and just started swapping a few out every week. He never said anything, never noticed, as far as I could tell. And I think it worked. Like, within maybe 6 weeks, he was just normal. Still not warm, exactly, but he stopped snapping. Stopped making people feel bad for existing before noon. Actually said good morning to me 2 days ago, which has never happened in 2 years. I know I had no right to do this. It's a weird violation of something I can't quite name, and I'm not even sure I feel bad, exactly. More just strange about the fact that it worked so well and that nobody knows, and probably nobody ever will. Does this make me a bad person, or did I just accidentally fix a workplace problem that HR couldn't?
That was today's chaos. See you at the next clash. Don't just watch the clash, join the corner. Subscribe now.